Well, if you ever liked exploring caves, there's good news for you. More than 60 people are now better trained to rescue you if you ever get stuck in a cave. I mean, what a nightmare that sounds like. This is all part of a big seminar this week.
And today was the big rescue. They ask we don't share the name or location of the cave for conservation purposes, but I was lucky enough to tag along and see the cave for myself in the hill towns of Albany County.
Deep in these woods today, off a little dirt path, you would suddenly stumble upon tents, stations, ropes, and a massive hole in the ground. This is the cave where a fake cave rescue is happening, training students to save lives. One of those students is Erin Lynch. She says she got hooked years ago and that this training is vital.
So we've been getting lots of hands-on experience, including many iterations of solving different problems, having pretend patients extracted out of caves.
And that's exactly what was happening when we visited today. Greg Moore, one of the leaders here today, explains how it works.
We have a whiteboard here that shows what teams, where they are in the cave, what their assignment is, a timeline showing what events so we can keep track of where a patient is.
In this training scenario, there are 4 patients.
They're out, and the 4th one is on their way out, but they've got a lot of cave to go through, so maybe an hour or 2 before they're on the surface.
So while we waited, I got a tour of the cave. With a GoPro strapped on, I started the descent. We scrambled down rocks into the chilly cave with temperatures always in the 40s. I climbed down a ladder, hand by hand, foot by foot, until I was solidly underground. Then I got the grand tour. Along the way, Emily Davis, a longtime caver and co-captain of the Albany-Schoharie Cave Rescue Team, explained the history of the cave.
And this passage is the passage that the bats like the best.
Davis says while the trainings here are a big deal, the focus on conservation is just as important. They close the cave in the winter to keep both people safe from ice, but also for the bats' well-being. Eventually, we head back to the surface. The final patient was coming.
Okay, we want to move towards the entrance. Yep.
Both Davis and Moore guided me back to the ladder, and up we went. Hand over hand, foot by foot, once again, slowly, daylight emerged.
I'm so out of shape, guys. Ridiculous. I'm sure you did amazing.
The students successfully pulled the patient to safety. Good practice for everyone here today. Moore says these types of rescues are rare, and he and Davis want people to understand there are safe ways to cave because it can be thrilling.
If I were to be in a room of my friends and ask them how many of them had ever been at some place that no human being had ever been before, most of my friends would be able to raise their hand.
Thrilling and safe with a little bit of smarts.
Now, there are some things that they want to highlight. Never cave alone. Go with 2 other people. That way one person can run for help if need be. Always bring food and water, no matter how short the hike, and always wear a helmet. It's also best if you cave for the first time with someone who already knows that location.